Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here. If you will, like, share, comment on the post. And then if you would like, we will be jumping into the letter First Peter and starting into that book. We looked at the introduction yesterday and actually start into the text today. So beginning in verse 1, excuse me. It says, Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ. Again, I said yesterday, Peter, the author, and no real debate on that. And here's his audience. To those who are elect exiles of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father and the sanctification of the Spirit, for obedience to Jesus Christ and for sprinkling with his blood, may grace and peace be multiplied to you. I realize that may sound a little bit like gibberish to most of us, some of those city names and location names, but he is writing here. He tells that he is writing to believers, the believers who are exiles, or strangers, or pilgrims, depends on which translation you might be reading. But all those words basically mean the same thing. Means a pilgrim, a visitor, a traveler, or as the English Standard Version here puts it, an exile. And it is the idea of a person who is just paying a visit. They're not a permanent resident. And so Peter is even already encouraging his audience who are suffering for their faith, reminding them that they are just passing through, that this is not their permanent home, that they're actually citizens of heaven. And so he's already working in a very subtle way here to encourage the readers here. Again, these exiles, these strangers, these that are being again persecuted for their faith, wherever they may be. And wherever they're from, wherever they've been scattered to, he says, I'm wanting you to know here that you, according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, that there's nothing going on here that God doesn't know. He knows you. He chose you. He has saved you, and so it's I want you to rest comfortably, even though you're being persecuted, even though you're being, been run from your homes in many cases, that you've suffered simply for your faith, for preaching and proclaiming the gospel, for trying to live for the Lord. You have been persecuted. Again, you have been turned into a stranger. You've been ran out of your homes, ran out of your countries. But I want you to know that God knows exactly where you are. He knows what's going on, and he is still working. He says here in verse 2, he is still sanctifying you. He is still working in your life. He is still setting you apart. He is still making you a different person. That's really what simply, we can spend hours talking about sanctification, but it simply means you're being set apart. You're being made different from this world. And he concludes his introduction here by praying that the grace and peace would be multiplied to you. And so again, these opening words, while they, again, the primary purpose here is for an introduction as to who's writing and to who the audience is, in a very kind of subtle way, Peter is working to remind his audience God still sees you. God still cares. God still is in charge. Nothing that is happening in your life may seem like everything is totally out of control, but God still in control and still working in your life. And that's That's a reminder all of us need on occasion. Sometimes we're like these folks here. We feel like our world is spinning completely out of control, like everything is, the wheels are falling off. Like maybe sometimes we even feel like, is God even paying attention? Does God even care? And these people need to know, and or needed to know, past tense, they needed to know, and you and I sometimes need to know, maybe today, that God still cares. He still sees you, He still loves you, and He is still on the throne. Don't forget that today. All right, you have a good one. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.